The story begins with Moana running across the island, playing with Haihei and the other animals. She stands on the beach, gazing at the ocean, wondering if there are people living in far-off places. Moana has an intense passion for leaving her island, exploring new lands, and meeting other cultures. As she speaks with excitement, she slips and falls into an area within the forest. There, she discovers an old clay pot bearing a strange symbol and drawings of the island's ancestors. She takes the pot and hurries back to her village. When Moana returns, she is warmly welcomed, especially since she brought food with her. Among those greeting her is her younger sister, Samia, who runs up to her and expresses her desire to join one of Moana and Maui's adventures. However, Moana explains that her adventure with Maui happened only once and is now over. Instead, she wants to focus on learning more about the people who once lived on the island, inspired by the pot and its mysterious drawings. Meanwhile, Maui, armed with his magical fishhook that allows him to transform into any creature, arrives at an abandoned place in the ocean. He is searching for an ancient sorcerer named Nalo. However, his companion, who is also a sorceress, insists that he bring Moana along, arguing that they need to work together. Maui firmly refuses, stating that the matter concerns only him and Nalo and that Moana has no part in it. The sorceress persists, provoking Maui's anger, and he uses his magical fishhook to confront her. At the same time, Moana is celebrating with her people in the village. Suddenly, her father appears and announces that this is no ordinary day of celebration. He reveals a special title granted once every 1,000 years to a member of the tribe, known as the Great Guide. This title carries immense significance, surpassing mere leadership. He offers Moana the opportunity to become the tribe's new guide. Filled with pride and gratitude for everyone's trust, Moana views it as a great honor to her journey. Indeed, the rituals to appoint Moana as the tribe's guide begin. She expresses her happiness and gratitude for this honor, appreciating the trust placed in her by everyone, and vows to bring them peace and comfort. The villagers respond with their best wishes, hoping the ancestors will guide her on the right path. Suddenly, an explosion lights up the sky, followed by a bolt of lightning that strikes directly at Moana. In an instant, she finds herself in the middle of a raging storm at sea. Confused and helpless, she struggles to steer her canoe through the violent waves. After much effort, she reaches a mysterious island, where one of her ancestors appears to her. He tells her this is her destiny and encourages her to summon the courage to fulfill it. He explains that her mission is to find the heart of Hadshur and restore unity among her people. He points her toward Mucho Visho Island as her first destination, but reassures her that a fire will appear to guide her on the path. Before vanishing, the ancestor transforms into a giant fish and dives into the ocean, repeating the importance of finding the island. Moana abruptly snaps back to reality and resolves to locate Mucho Visho at any cost. When she asks the villagers about the island, they recount its story. It was once a symbol of unity among the tribes, but a powerful sorcerer named Nalo cursed it, causing it to vanish. The curse aimed to destroy their people, but finding the island could restore harmony among the tribes. As they discuss, a strange sound echoes outside. Everyone rushes out to see a blazing meteor streaking across the sky. Moana realizes this is the fire her ancestor spoke of and declares her intention to follow it to the island. That evening, Moana sits by the ocean, pondering her next steps. Suddenly, the spirit of her grandmother appears to her. Her grandmother reassures her and urges her to trust her heart to fulfill her destiny and find the island. The next morning, Moana begins preparing for her journey, realizing that only Maui can truly assist her. As she gazes at a mural of Maui on a wall, she speaks to it as if addressing him directly. While adjusting the mural, she encounters a villager named Muni, an avid admirer of Maui who considers him a legend. Moana invites Muni to join her on her quest to find Maui, and he eagerly agrees, thrilled to be part of her adventure. Soon after, Moana goes to meet her younger sister, who insists strongly on joining her journey. However, Moana refuses, fearing for her safety, and tells her that she will take her along once the mission is completed. Moana then heads toward the sea, ready to depart, but her father advises her to bring more people with her, as having only Muni would not be enough. Moana agrees, and they all set off on the boat. Meanwhile, Maui is shown bound, his magical fishhook far from him. He talks to the sorceress who is holding him captive, assuring her that he will find a way to escape. She responds, stating that she will not allow him to move until Moana arrives. The story shifts back to Moana and her companions at sea, where she encourages them to feel the friendship they share with the ocean, emphasizing that it will help them during the journey. Everyone is excited to reach Mucho Visho Island, confident in their success. However, suddenly, they encounter an island unlike any other. It's a giant sea creature. On the island, strange beings cast ropes toward Moana's boat, trying to pull them in. The beings start attacking by throwing arrows and getting closer until they manage to drag the boat entirely onto the island. Once they land, the creatures rush to capture Moana and her crew. But a surprise occurs when they recognize Moana, as they had interacted with her during her previous adventure. The creatures treat Moana like royalty, and their bodies form into a throne for her to sit on. They help her and her crew regain their senses, and they decide to assist them in overcoming the giant sea creature guarding the island. At first, the task proves difficult, as the boat's rope snaps while trying to cross. However, Moana quickly grabs hold of the rope with all her strength and manages to overcome the obstacle. Yet, the violent waves cause the boat to crash repeatedly, throwing everyone into the water. When they regain consciousness, the crew finds themselves in a strange place that resembles an underwater cave. However, they soon realize that Moana is not with them. They realize they have fallen into a different place from where Moana landed, and they begin searching for a way to find her and continue their journey. Suddenly, a massive creature appears before the crew and attempts to attack them as soon as it spots them. However, they manage to defend themselves by shooting an arrow into its mouth. As a result, a blue acidic liquid pours from its mouth, causing the ground beneath them to corrode, and they fall once again. This time, they find themselves in the place where Maui is held captive. Muni is filled with excitement and joy upon seeing Maui, whom he considers a legend. Maui begins to speak with them, explaining that he has been trying to escape this place for a long time and describes their arrival as a historic moment. He grabs a rope and throws it toward his magical fishhook to retrieve it. Once he has it, he transforms into a small insect to unlock the chains that had bound him. After freeing himself, Maui tells them that he plans to leave the place, but warns them of the sorceress who resides there, highlighting her power and ability to destroy them easily. However, before he leaves, he notices the chicken Haihei and realizes they are friends of Moana. He asks about her, and at that moment, Moana regains consciousness. Moana finds herself in a strange, empty place and is shocked to see her younger sister standing in front of her. However, when she starts talking to her, she realizes that this is not her real sister, but a bat that has been enchanted to look like her. Suddenly, a large group of bats appears, led by the sorceress, who greets Moana, saying that she has been waiting for her. The sorceress tells Moana that she is the guardian of this place and invites her to accompany her to fulfill her destiny. Moana responds that she doesn't know her well enough to trust her or follow her. The sorceress then reveals that if Moana wants to break Nalo's curse and find the lost island, she must follow her. Moana asks what the sorceress stands to gain from helping her, and the sorceress surprises her by admitting that Nalo has kept her in prison here for a long time. She explains that she will only regain her freedom if Moana and Maui work together to defeat him. The sorceress further reveals that she planned everything from the beginning, including kidnapping Maui, to make their meeting easier and to initiate the mission. Moana agrees to accompany the sorceress, and they arrive at a massive gate. Moana stands on one side of the gate, while Maui appears on the other side. The sorceress instructs them to strike the gate from both sides at the same time. When they do, the gate opens and Maui falls inside. The sorceress begins speaking with Moana, pointing out that the fate of her entire people rests on her shoulders, and that her personal fate is at stake as well. As Moana descends into the gate, the sorceress tells one of the bats that if Nalo learns of what is happening, he will strike her down with a lightning bolt immediately. Nevertheless, she assures Moana that she is willing to take the risk in order to regain her freedom. After a while, Moana and Maui meet on her boat. Moana is thrilled to see Maui again and tells him that he and the ocean are her closest friends. Maui replies that he's happy to see her too, but warns her that she must forget the idea of the ocean being her friend. He explains that they have now crossed the gate and entered a new area, one that is different from the ocean they know, and they cannot predict what challenges they may face. The boat continues to sail, and everything seems calm, until suddenly, a massive monster emerges from the depths of the sea. Everyone struggles to maintain balance amid the raging waves. Maui reassures them, explaining that this monster is Nalo's way of welcoming them. He uses his magical fishhook and transforms to face the monster bravely. In the heat of battle, the boat shakes violently, causing Muni to fall into the water. Maui reassures everyone that he can handle the situation, leaping into the water to fight the monster and rescue Muni. After a fierce battle, Maui returns to the boat holding Muni, assuring the crew that they are now safe. They continue their journey until they reach an island, where they decide to stop for a while to rest after the events they've endured. On the island, Moana sits alone, lost in thought. She feels the pressure and fear that she might not be up to the responsibility placed on her shoulders, as so many are relying on her. Maui notices her state and approaches her to offer encouragement. He tells her that he believes in her ability to achieve their goals, pointing to her past accomplishment when she succeeded in doing what everyone thought was impossible. Maui speaks about how Moana changed his life completely, saying that before meeting her, he didn't feel responsible for anything in the world. But after getting to know her, he started caring and became afraid of anything happening to her. He tells her that someone who could have such an impact on him can definitely achieve anything. Maui's words encourage Moana and restore her confidence. She tells him that together they can break Nalo's curse. She then moves to check on Muni and the rest of the crew. She gathers them and informs them that Maui will be in charge of creating the plan, and everyone must follow it. Maui explains his plan, saying they will continue their journey until they reach Nalo's storm, where they will find the sunken island beneath the water. He adds that he will take it upon himself to raise the island back to the surface so they can complete their mission and achieve their goal. He explains to the team that once the island is raised to the surface, they must all rush toward it. He clarifies that the curse will end once one of them touches the island, as they are descendants of the original people who once lived there. However, Moana seems skeptical, pointing out that things might not be as simple as they sound. As she looks at her team, she is surprised by their immense enthusiasm. Muni, in particular, expresses his full readiness, saying that he has spent his life listening to stories of the ancestors and their heroics. And if his life ends in this mission, it won't matter to him, because his name will be remembered alongside the heroes. Muni's words give Moana confidence, and she realizes that everyone is ready to sacrifice and participate in this adventure. They head toward the storm, which causes such turbulence that it makes it difficult to approach. Maui transforms into an eagle and tries to break through the storm, but struggles, so he changes into a giant fish to attack it from beneath. He continues to shift between an eagle and a whale to get closer to the storm, but Moana realizes that the storm is targeting them, not Maui. With clever thinking, Moana comes up with a plan to distract Nalo and instructs the team to change the direction of the boat. While Maui attempts to raise the island, the storm focuses its attention on Moana and her team. Seizing the opportunity, Maui uses his hook to pull the island up from the depths of the sea. The task is not easy, as Nalo uses lightning to strike Maui, causing him to fall into the water and lose consciousness. Nalo begins to direct his attacks toward the team, but Moana refuses to retreat. She jumps into the water to save Maui, and amidst the fierce attacks, she pulls him back onto the boat. Moana realizes they must act quickly, so she dives into the water and touches the island. Suddenly, The entire ocean lights up, the storm vanishes, and the sun shines through. Maui regains consciousness, and when he learns what Moana has done, he decides to search for her himself. Maui dives into the water and finds Moana unconscious. He tries to wake her in every possible way, but to no avail. In a moment of desperation, he calls upon the spirits of the ancestors, asking for their help to save her. The spirits appear, and their collective power revives Moana, gifting her with a magical bracelet as a tribute to her accomplishments. Afterward, Maui regains his strength and easily pulls the island to the surface. The island returns to its original beautiful state, and everyone celebrates. At the same time, other boats arrive, carrying members of the ancient people's lineage, who came to reclaim their homeland. Moana proudly announces that she has succeeded in uniting the people. She fulfills her promise to her younger sister and arranges for Maui to bring her to the island to witness this great achievement. After completing the mission, Moana returns to her island, where the people celebrate her, bestowing upon her the title of the guide. Joy fills the air as the story concludes with Moana successfully restoring the island and uniting the people. If you love movies and movie recaps, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and stay tuned for more. Hit like if you enjoyed the video and share your thoughts in the comments. Thanks for watching, and see you in the next video.